What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. Today we're going to speed run the weekly candle closes, go over everything that we normally go over. So let's just dive right into it. I got some places to be here, so I'm going to make this as quick as I can. Pack load of information. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment why I'm wrong below. Let's get into it. So weekly candle closed 30 minutes ago. We have the last 2 weeks, very strong candles. I mean, what is this called again? Harabozu or a white Marabozu, something like that. There's some Japanese name for it. And it's been sort of a continuation this week. We have one of the formations that I like. I need a name for it. There's probably a name for it, but it kind of looks to me like a sci-fi spaceship destroyer, kind of like a Star Wars ship, where it comes down, makes a bottom, then it pushes higher, and then we push up. Next week, would not be surprised if we get up and over 7,000 on the S&P. Looking at the Qs, maybe we get to 6,700. Let's take a look at this real quick. Yeah, so we have a number of levels here at this all-time high. If we bust past that, maybe, yeah, 6,700. That looks like a pretty good target for next week. Looking at the tech thing, index moving up to 83. I like VGT, not XLK. What do we have here? Any confluences? 860, 836. Interesting. Who knows? Maybe we get an 8%. I'm bullish next week. I think we bottomed right here. Let's take a look at the Russell. Yeah, Russell's ready to go. If Russell's ready to go, the market's ready to go. Crypto might be ready to go. So could we get a 9% week next week on the Russell? Could we get a big week next week? I think we can. And I think we do. Yeah, we got to break through this level here. Might take a couple weeks to get there, but how about 2,700, whatever, for the Russell? How about that? 8% in the next couple weeks. That'd be that's one hell of a call, isn't it? But I think that pain is over, man. We've just been getting walloped by the market for long enough. Don't you think? It's time to make some all-time highs and push to that next level. The Russell is in this kind of Gann arc jail, although I do have this set up on logarithmic. So yeah, 2,700. That seems like a good stopping point next week. Silver, my goodness, silver, my best investment of the year. Yeah, we're going to keep moving up for silver. It looks like no signs of slowing down. The monthly RSI is really high, but maybe we don't really slow down until we hit like $68. So we might have another $10 to go. Gold, probably just going to try to build a base here at this $4,000 level. We'll see if that holds, and we could move up to these higher levels that I'm looking at, 4,500 and 5,000. Real quick look at healthcare. Healthcare is sitting right on support. Maybe a good buy opportunity here. Then again, maybe we have a little bit more weakness to go, especially if there's a strong week next week. Usually healthcare moves opposite of tech. Let's get into the stocks. Actually, let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. We'll get into other crypto at the end. Looks like it's trying to hold on for dear life of the 1.272 on linear. We're kind of in no man's land on logarithmic, so I might be looking at linear here. Yeah, I think it probably just holds steady. If it can get back up into this megaphone pattern that I was looking at, that would be a good thing. It's also on the 100-week moving average, holding steady. This weekly has not closed yet. It doesn't close for another 2 days. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA had a very strong week this week. The logarithmic Gann has been proving to be pretty useful. A lot of signal on this one that I have drawn. These are Gann squares built on symmetry. So we closed under the 10-week moving average, not beautiful, but we did close over the Gann level, and we closed over the 1.272 Fibonacci level. We have RSI curling up, which is good. So yeah, I think ultimately we do follow this line right here, and that means in 52 weeks at a minimum, I suspect shares bought today will return 20%. Yeah, like 20%, which when you're buying the biggest, most solid company in America, in the world, 20% return in a year, yeah, that's pretty good. If you can handle the volatility of tech, you know, you feel like you're in pretty safe hands with NVIDIA. So yeah, I like prices right here. I really liked them down here when I bought a ton of them. You know, we were in the pocket right here, and I did not expect price to just go up to this level and then hold this level like it has, which tells me that I should lean bullish that it won't dip under this. However, the closer we get to this Gann angle, especially if we come down to touch the 50-week moving average, I will be backing up the truck if we get a 50-week moving average, 160, call it 160 to $170 NVIDIA. Yeah, I'm going to be buying a lot of it. SoFi, if they made the S&P 500, I don't know about it yet. It could happen right after I post this video, but as of right now, it held the Gann angle, closed right above the 10-week moving average. You know, they had their whole, they issued shares and all that stuff, and no one likes that. Meta, going to spend less on the metaverse, trying to reclaim this Gann angle. And I do think that it ultimately will hold this, although I think this might look differently if I switch to a monthly. Let me just see. I think I have this measured out to a monthly. I do. Just for shits and giggles, though, I'm going to put this back in the weekly and say that this holds on because it has been holding on. And let's see if it continues for 52 weeks. What kind of returns are we looking at? We're looking at 31% returns. However, this Gann arc, shit happens in the Gann arc. So I wouldn't expect, it could be more like this, 15% in a year. So either way, pretty good, but I'd rather buy NVIDIA right now. Amazon's another one of those that, like, this chart has been pretty great. Go 52 weeks out on this one. Looking at like 18.8% if bought today, which is pretty good. And I think that we're pretty much near support bottom. You have this big volume shelf right here. You have the 50-week moving average, the 10 and the 20, everything's stacked up nicely. So, we could get some more consolidation in this range. Every day that we stay in this range, every week that we stay in this range, the better Amazon looks. However, I don't expect it to stay in this range much longer, especially if we get some Black Friday and Christmas data. AMD. AMD, we talked about this before. There's a big gap on the weekly that I don't really love. However, you never know. Really never know. So AMD, hard to read this one. I'm scared. Let's just put it that way. So I'm holding the shares and I'm not buying anymore right now. CrowdStrike survived earnings, stayed strong, stayed on track. Ultimately, I think we keep this Gann angle for the next year or two at least. And if I go 52 weeks out, getting 23%, almost 24% on our money. Pretty good for an established company like CrowdStrike. However, CrowdStrike does tend to be more volatile than NVIDIA. So just be ready for a roller coaster ride if you buy into CrowdStrike. However, one thing that helps me hold on is the fact that they are the #1 cybersecurity company in the world, and cybersecurity ain't going nowhere. You know what else isn't going nowhere? Vacuum cleaners. Shark Ninja recovery underway. At this point, you're chasing. You should have been buying when I was telling you to buy down here in the 80s and the 90s. And actually, I was buying all the way up here because I didn't have the right Gann square drawn. Now I do. And if this Gann square continues, even if you buy the top here, which it could just go vertical. It never should have came down. It really never should have came down. But 52 weeks out, let's just say it keeps this one. You're looking at a 52% return. Incredible, guys. Incredible. That's why Shark Ninja is one of my biggest positions. It's just a great stock. Shopify has been kind of stuck in the mud lately, but for a minute there, it was looking like this thing was going to go launch mode, and it still looks like it's going to go launch mode. 176 in the future, and then 240. 240 is really, I think, where this thing wants to go before it hits this Gann angle. This Gann angle, this whole chart that I have drawn has been, there's been a lot of signal in it, to put it that way. And ultimately, I think this angle is what we're going to hold. But I think that we hit this before we hit the angle. And that's 50% up. Now, if I go 52 weeks out, you're risking it because we could be minus 2% from these prices 52 weeks out. But the way that this chart looks to me, I think that we get up here first. Maybe once we get there, I start trimming because I don't really see it, getting back up to this Gann angle. Maybe it does. But Shopify, it looks really strong, but just be careful. Understand that, you're going to hold it for the long term, not just a trade to get up to 240. It could come back down. It could take some time. Tesla, all computer. This thing looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks like it wants to go to 585. We could be, especially if we get like the Russell starts to launch, crypto comes back alive, 30% up to 585, and by the, in short order, maybe by February, something like that. If I draw this out 52 weeks, though, we are flat. So if we hold this Gann, now this Gann is going at a crazy thing. If you buy this and then you don't sell for 2 years, let's go 104 weeks out, you're up, 46, 48%. So that's pretty good, but there's better deals in the market than Tesla. And one of them is Zeta. Zeta. This is my favorite stock, right, for 2025. I've been buying a crap ton in this whole consolidation here. And it's just the technicals are screaming at you right now. It reclaimed the 10-week. The 10, the 20, the 50, the 100, they're stacked. We're sitting on the volume shelf. It's reclaimed this Gann angle. Everything looks good. And other PA guys are looking at this saying the same thing. If I go 52 weeks out, what am I up? 40% I'm up. I like this. I like this setup. I've made this it's probably like my third biggest stock position, individual stock position. Yeah, I mean, it's basically my portfolio right now is very heavy SoFi, Shark Ninja, Zeta, and then, normal stuff then. NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta. I also have a decent amount of Shopify, CrowdStrike, AMD. Obviously, these are the ones that I went over first. So those are my big dogs. I'm going to take a quick look at Oscar. Oscar is still kind of struggling. We got to get through this Gann arc. Ultimately, that's it doesn't really get interesting to me until we get over $20. Palantir had a strong week, a really good looking week. Do I believe that we can really get up to this $362 level before the party's over? No, I think I agree with another YouTuber out there that this could pop and then just fizzle and just be dead money for years. I really worry about that. But then again, I'm not going to short it. Spotify falling out of bed. Just absolutely, no matter what way you look at it, it's falling out of bed. I'm not interested in this thing until we're getting to like $400. It's been a good run, but the run is over. Honest, I honestly wish I never bought this stock. PM&R, yeah, I kind of wish I didn't buy this one either, but I did. I held everything, and I keep buying more. I don't know why. Crypto's a weird drug. Um, yeah, and this it looks like it reclaimed my Gann fan that I drew, so that's good. If we have a really strong week next week with crypto and with the Russell, then this thing could just totally reclaim and be at $275 before you know it. You know, this is one of those stocks that could just go bananas if crypto goes bananas. Vertiv, my new love. This is my new favorite stock. Maybe okay, Zeta's my favorite stock, but this one's my newest favorite stock. They cool data centers. They're like the big dog of cooling data centers. It's to me, it's one of the safest AI plays, and it's just a bullish looking chart, doesn't it? Look like a bullish looking chart, and it looks like it just wants to. It's been working on reclaiming this Gann angle, and it will ultimately do it. And if I go 52 weeks out from these prices, oh my gosh, we're up 100%. What are we up? We're up 175% if it's able to do it. And I think it is able to do it. And even if it gets caught up in here and we're 52 weeks and we're in the middle of this, we're still up 100% on that. So I really like Vertiv. I'll probably be buying more Vertiv, if I'm being honest here. I've got to buy more of it. Let's take a look at Nebius because everyone likes Nebius. It's under the 10-week moving average. I don't like the setup on Nebius or Iron right now. It's just ran crazy. It's in no man's land in the Gann. Don't like it. Zevia had an ugly looking week. It looks like we're reversing trend. That's okay because ultimately I think this Gann holds. We might have another date with the Gann arc just to make sure that we're out of it. But I wouldn't count on it. And I think ultimately a year from now we're going to be hugging this Gann angle. And that would put us up 135%. And, you know, next week, if the Russell goes heavy, this thing is only $193 million market cap, sugar-free soda. You know, I have like 1%, 1.5% of my portfolio in this thing. But like, you know, if this thing really rips, then maybe it could become a bigger part of it. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum holding on for dear life. Look at this. Weekly candle closes have not happened yet on crypto, but it is holding this very, very ancient Fibonacci level, 1.272 extension. So, and it grabbed liquidity from in here. This is another reason why I think crypto bottomed. Ethereum tapped its volume anchor, point of control. That's the word I'm looking for. And now it's giving you a reversal candle. If the next candle goes up, we could be in for like an absolute volcano candle that brings us up to $7,000-8,000. I know that sounds crazy, but crypto's crazy. XRP sitting at $2. Deal of the century. This is the strongest chart in crypto. I don't care who, you know, like look at November. We just went vertical and we just been consolidating. Been consolidating between like, you know, $1.90 and $3, and we just been consolidating. If you were back here, you're loving life. If you were buying in here hoping for more, you just been, you know, your patience is probably wearing thin. But ultimately, we're getting up to this $5 range, and dare I say, up to the $20 range. I don't know how long it's going to take. And you know, we could get up into here and just, you know, be in for a world of hurt. Maybe it holds this angle in the long run. Or, lucky, this thing could launch up and get, you know, once we get through this Gann arc, I think these Gann arcs are like the crypto cycles. So we're not really like through this cycle until we get in and through there. Just some thoughts. XLM also sitting. So some of these cryptos, you look at them and you go, okay, this is really telling me that we're at a bottom. Take a look. We're at the bottom of the range that we've been consolidating in since last November. So I have bought some more XLM. Link. Deep value territory for Chainlink. Technically looks like dog shit, but deep value. H-bar also kind of sitting right on the GAN level. This is kind of do or die here. I mean, it has closed underneath it before, but we got to reestablish this area as a bottom. And this is exactly when you want to buy in crypto. We've been through pain. It's been a long time. This is usually, like, if you're going to be involved in crypto, this is where you do it. Let's take a look at Solana. Yeah, we're just in GAN jail right now, but ultimately, I think the way this movie ends is we get back up here, and if we go 52 weeks out, we're up 566% on Solana. So, yeah. What else do we want to look at? Let's look at Micron. Micron. It's in the GAN arc. I don't like it. I don't like buying things that are in the GAN arc after a crazy run. It could consolidate in here for a long time. Speaking of consolidate, let's look at Costco. I sidestepped this bad boy. I sold right over here, and it's been dead money and down ever since. Yeah, this looks absolutely ugly. I would consider maybe buying again at like 800, but I don't know. I would have to take a look at my charts again, and it's just a little weird to me. I don't know. Costco's, the way the technicals look, it looks like terrible. GE Vernova's been ripping too. Kind of want to look at that. Okay. It's out of GAN arc jail. Closing above this level. Maybe it has what it takes to get up here. Interesting. All right. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Once again, hit the like, hit the subscribe, comment why I'm wrong, and until next time, Risky Ryan